Hey guys, it's Kugli Game with another ROM review, and this time I've got the Cardinal OS Extended Oreo for the OnePlus 3, so stay tuned for that. So guys, the Cardinal OS, now Team Cardinal is the first people who brought this ROM, the hence Cardinal ROM. Other developer who is called Super Droid Bond, he has made one version of it. Now there will be an official version of Cardinal OS as far as I know, but for the time being this is the version of Cardinal which we have. Let's get started. Now first of all, in the about phone page you can see in the system options, in the about phone you can see it is Cardinal AOSP. Now this has been ported over to Android 8.0 and the Cardinal AOSP version is 5.0. October 5 security patches are enabled and SLN status is permissive. As of now all the Oreo ROMs are permissive, so you might have to think about that. Now this ROM does use the Cesium kernel, so that is going to ensure that this is much more smoother than other Lineage OS ROMs in my opinion, so that's pretty cool. Let's get to the other stuff now. Cardinal in its initial days, or the core objective of Cardinal is to give you guys a basic AOSP experience. So there is not going to be much options in the original Cardinal AOSP ROM, but this is an extended ROM, so that should mean that it does have a few extra features. Now I have done a Cardinal ROM on the NoGAT space way back in the day, and you can check that out if you do want to. Here are the features of this ROM. Now first of all the features are inside the wing, so you get that's pretty cool. In the general UI options you can have always on ambient display, so that will work out really well. So you can see always on ambient display is available. Bacon plug sensor block per package is available, which is a great battery saving feature. In the status bar options you do have quick setting layout, which is amazing. I appreciate that a lot. But there is also pricing slider. Notification options, you can customize heads up, and you can enable, disable and blacklist and whitelist heads up displays, but you don't have an option to set the time limit for each function of the heads up display, which kind of was disappointing, but hey, that is still there. LED lights can be customized, and also battery lights can be customized as per normal Oreo reasons. Status bar icon can be customized, and if you didn't know, VLD is available. I have right now my phone in airplane mode, but VLD is available and you can get it working, so you know you don't have any worries about it. So Indian users who are on Geo, rejoice. Now network traffic indicator is available, and that is the basic one without much features, but this is good enough for most people, so you can see that. Double data sleep status bar is available, which is another extra feature. Button configuration is available, but this is not the most technical or most useful button configuration which I've seen. That to me is a very basic essential need, because I try to minimize using my button and I try to use the capacitive button more, so that was kind of a bummer for me, but I guess it is going to be ported over and all the ROMs are going to have it at some point or the other, so it's just a waiting game. So as of now we have navigation bar options, you can customize that, you can have that. Also volume button wake, volume button music control is also available, which is really great. I did use that today. Now lock screen options, you do have lock screen shortcut, hide lock screen shortcut if you don't want that. FP unlock, it is amazing, and it is about time all the ROMs do come with FP unlock. I really like it. I want all other ROMs to have it. It's just amazing. Recent screen is available, and you can customize the clear all button on the status bar, so you can have it here also, which is really working. And that much is it in the extra stuff regarding this ROM. That is the feature section. A few things which I noted from the developers at XD Developers is that there is an extra setting decidedly, which is under languages and input in advanced. There is an option to jump into camera if someone is asking for that. There were a few people asking for that, and it is still available, and I didn't understand that why this is inside the language and input option. Maybe because of input, but hey, that is how it is. Now one thing which I really kind of thought was a problem, or I mean the developer calls this as the first stable release, and I will agree to it being a stable release. I did not have any issues, and this is probably the first ROM where I did not have any issues on Oreo or for this device using this ROM extensively, and I have used this extensively while I was away. Feature wise, it is loaded, it does have enough features to keep you entertained, but it is nowhere near what how technical Validus ROM is, but I would compare this to the open beta release by OnePlus. I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10 for features. Now comes the battery life, and as I have already said, battery life is not spectacular, but for the most part you can see a real big gap there. That's not because my phone was off, something happened in the meantime, so I'm not really sure why, but that was on me, so nothing regarding the ROM. But for the meantime, as an average, I got about 19 to 21% of active drain, which is on the higher side, but still this is an Oreo ROM, so you need to keep that in mind. And idle drain was more acceptable with 1.8 to 2.2% of idle drain. Now, being an Oreo ROM, I am not expecting sub 1% of idle drain, but 2.2% is kind of too much for me. But again, this is an Oreo ROM and this is only going to get better, so I am hoping for the best. So yeah, for battery life, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10 because it is not there yet. Now the performance. Now performance is another feature which I thought was kind of sad on this ROM. I did about 4 to 5 runs and I got an average of 124,704, and it's on the lower side. It's on the second or third tier of ROMs which I've tested. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10 for performance. Now comes the stability of the ROM, and that is where this ROM shines, and I can tell you that this is much more stable than Validus. This is much more stable than Ground Zero AOSP even. It is about as stable as OnePlus's Open Beta 26, but that is a stock-based ROM from a big company, so I can understand that. But this one, I'm really impressed with the stability of this ROM. I did not have any issues even restarting, using camera, using music player. I've used everything in my power to use this as a daily driver, and it all works great. So I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. Now comes the camera. Now the inbuilt camera is the stock AOSP based camera, so you don't need to worry about that. Works out, nothing special though, it just works. There's nothing much to say about that. It does support Google Camera, and which I have installed it right here, and it should work out. I didn't use Google Camera as much as I normally do with other ROMs because I didn't have much camera work with this phone, but it works out. It takes photographs, it takes the HDR photographs, and it does have the processing HDR, and it just works out. I really like it. But the stock camera is nothing special. I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10 for camera. Now the aesthetics of the ROM. Now aesthetics of the ROM, as you might have observed already, I like Oreo as of now because I think the status bar is really cool. I want this thing down though, so yeah, there are a few things which I want to do. There are a few things, elements which does make me go cringe, but for the most part everything works out. I didn't really have any issues. Yeah, there are a few things which I do want to mention about this ROM, which goes into the all category, which I will mention in the overall experience for. But for the aesthetics, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10 because it does have themes. If you didn't know, it also has the theme function for pixel or stock option. I'm using the pixel one. Also, OMS kind of works if you're using Oreo ROM. So now comes the overall experience. Now in the overall experience section, I would like to point out that there are a few things. Now, if you have been following the forum, you might be familiar with it, but there are a few issues with the Wi-Fi. I mean, it's slow to connect, that's it. It connects well, it has been working right for me. I've been connecting to both my 5 GHz connection and also 2.4 GHz connection. No issues there, so that's not something which I'm worried about. It works out really well, but it is a bit slow to connect. Also, in Google Cam, if you want to use slow motion connection, slow motion capture, you need to flash a zip which is provided in the forum page. Just go search there, which is 60fps.zip from Magisk, or just flash it through Team in Recovery, and you will be able to do that. So these are the few things which you need to do if you want to get this done. That is just a few things which I did want to mention in this ROM, because there are a lot of people who did not understand how to do this. Now again, overall experience, as I was saying, I was actually okay with using this ROM. Personally, I would like to have more features in a daily driver for me. I would like to have that, but that doesn't mean that I would mind having such a ROM which just gives you the essential features like status bar, network manager. That is something which I really like, and that I think is a essential feature. Also, clock customization is something which I would have liked, but it's not available with Oreo yet. So yeah, for overall experience, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10, but I do expect it to go up quite high after a few releases, so I'm waiting for that. So yeah, let me show you guys the boot animation, which actually is pretty amazing. I really like the boot animation on this one. So there you have it. That is the boot animation for Cardinal AOSP Xtended. Now I guess this is going to be the boot animation for Cardinal OS. It's a very smooth and minimal and just the way I like it, so I really like that. And yeah, fingerprint unlock and reboot without the pin. Amazing, I really like that. So yeah, I guess that should be it about the ROM. In conclusion, it's a very usable ROM. Encryption issue, not there. VLT working correctly. Yeah, I think that should basically sum it up. It's a very good ROM which you can use as a daily driver. Battery needs to improve, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was with the initial versions of Oreo, so you don't need to worry too much about that, and you can still use something like AKT to squeeze a little bit more out of that, so it does work out. So yeah, the final score is going to be 5.893617201, and if you think that is a very different average score than I have given to any other ROM, that's because I have changed my scoring card. I have changed my scoring system. Now I'm going to give out a little bit of weightage to different sections like features, and performance is not going to have the same weightage. Earlier it was used to be the same weightage for even aesthetics, stability, everything. I'm going to change that. I have a weightage system which I will be explaining in another video, so don't worry about that. So final score for this ROM is 5.89 whatever it is. I'm gonna round it up to 5.9, and that is a very respectable score for a Oreo AOSP based ROM for our device as of right now. I am only expecting it to go higher. I am only expecting it to get better, so that is going to be amazing. So yeah, I guess how much is it about the ROM then. Hope you guys like the video. Please just like the video if you found it useful. See you guys next time. Bye.